Welcome back, everybody. It's Wednesday, August 2nd, 2023. Born on this date in 1961, Ed West of Colbert County. He was a tight end who played at Auburn and spent more than a decade in the NFL. Today we're going to talk about some events that appear to be moving forward despite apparent setbacks. We're not taking a side on these. You might like one or two and hate the other, depending on your politics and college football affiliations. It has to do with Donald Trump, space, and recruiting wars. My name's Ike Morgan, and we're down in Alabama. Donald Trump may be under a brand new indictment on charges that he tried to overturn the 2020 United States presidential election, but the Alabama Republican Party says his visit to Alabama is still on, reports AL.com's Mike Kaysen. Now, the plans are for the frontrunner for the 2024 Republican presidential nomination to speak Friday night at the state party's summer dinner in Montgomery. The day before, Thursday afternoon, the former president will be in court in Washington to be arraigned. Alabama GOP Chairman John Wall said everything is moving forward on Friday night's dinner. The state's Republican congressman cast the indictment against Trump as politically motivated, with the presidential election coming up next year. This is Trump's third indictment in 3 jurisdictions on 3 different sets of charges since March. A Manhattan grand jury indicted him regarding alleged hush payments made to a porn actress, and a federal court in Miami indicted him on accusations of his having hoarded classified documents and refusing to give them back. Said Congressman Barry Moore of Enterprise, quote, "The latest sham indictment of President Trump proves that Biden's DOJ is determined to try every avenue to punish his political enemies before the 2024 election. After 3 indictments, it's beginning to feel like Groundhog Day." Maybe U.S. Space Command headquarters is staying put in Colorado, but Huntsville's space story isn't all set in the past. At one point, Redstone Arsenal seemed to have been the future permanent home of the headquarters after a couple of Air Force studies pointed in its direction, but final approval continued to drag out until this week, when the Biden administration apparently switched directions. Now, pundits have speculated that Alabama's conservative politics, or Senator Tommy Tuberville's hold on high-level military promotions, is to blame. Of course, the White House isn't coming out and agreeing that it's making such a decision based on political retribution. Administration sources told the Associated Press that Biden was persuaded by Space Command General James Dickinson, who said that moving now would hurt military readiness. Regardless, AL.com's Lee Roop reports that Huntsville is moving ahead to the next space thing with next week's 2023 Space and Missile Defense Symposium. It's an annual get-together of military leaders, vendors, and missile hardware, and it draws hundreds of attendees. A Huntsville-Madison County Chamber of Commerce representative said the city's recruitment team is also working on luring a number of companies into the region. In this summer's SEC Media Days poll, Auburn University's football team was picked to finish 6th in the Southeastern Conference Western Division. Now that's out of 7 teams. As you might expect, the Tigers are going to go ahead and play the actual ball games to see if that's really how it's going to go. Now, in the meantime, new head coach Hugh Freeze's staff has done some recruiting, and AL.com's Michael Casagrande reports that it's getting some attention. Now, in recent days, the Tigers beat out rival Alabama and picked up a commitment from 4-star DeMarcus Reddick. Then, 5-star receiver Perry Thompson out of Foley High switched his commitment to Auburn from Alabama. So it's not only been a positive stretch for Freeze and company, but it's also awakened memories of the recruiting side of the Iron Bowl rivalry. Casagrande mentioned the T.J. Yeldon, Reuben Foster, and Rashawn Evans decisions of recruiting classes past. He wrote, quote, "This was always going to be the case when Hugh Freeze returned from exile to throw gas on this rivalry." The openers for both schools are September 2nd. Thanks so much for listening. We're glad you're here. Democrats, Republicans, Tide and Tigers, from the Shoals to the Wiregrass and Lookout Mountain to Mobile Bay. I haven't plugged the newsletter in a few weeks, and that probably violates some kind of media self-promotion law. So y'all just be aware that there's a newsletter based on this podcast. It has the stories we go over here, plus a whole lot more with links. We've been doing a review quiz even on Mondays to see how smart we are. Now, to find the newsletter, you can sift through the newsletters available on the AL.com menu or Google Down in Alabama with Ike Morgan. And most everything I've put on the site lately has a widget inside where you can sign up. End of self-promotion. We'll be back here tomorrow with more Alabama news. Until then, come see us anytime you want to on the internet at AL.com.